Okay, so we have a question from Kathrikian. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And they ask, good day, Rob and Laura. Greetings from Kathik, India. Your videos are awesome, which ignite me and my fiance to plan our honeymoon trip to New Zealand. And we have chosen to explore the South Island only. Our budget is 10,000 New Zealand dollars, and we are more interested in adventure activities that includes a hot air balloon, scuba diving, skydiving, ziplining, heli hiking, the I think they say shooter jet, but maybe shot over jet, swimming with dolphins, whale watching, cruising in Milford Sound, jetavata, parasailing, and stargazing. Also, beautiful places of New Zealand. Please help us on the itinerary from where to start and end our trip, along with local transport. Either bus or renting a car would be the best choice, and accommodation, so Airbnb or hostels, that would fit in with our preferred budget. Thank you again.
All right, so there is a lot of information in there, so I really do like that. And so we are going to be trying to go for 2 weeks around the South Island because we don't have a time frame in there. It doesn't really tell us how long he wants to spend here with his wife. But I feel like if you're flying all the way to New Zealand from India, you should spend about 2 weeks here.
Yeah, and if you're just doing one island, usually 2 weeks is a good amount, the good minimum amount of time to just do one island.
You could do it in 1 week, but that'd be a little bit more of a rush. If it's a honeymoon, you want to take your time, you want to treat yourself, and also with a budget of $10,000, you actually will have quite a lot of flexibility right here. Yeah. So we'll be able to actually do quite a lot. All right, let's get the map and let's see what we can do.
Do you want to say the places first, and I will?
All right, so on the map, we are going to be putting, so we're going to get you to start in Christchurch, and you're going to go from Christchurch to Kaikoura. Then we're going to go to Nelson. And we're going to pass through Marlborough and try some of the good wines and all that. Then we're going to go to Punakaiki. We're going to go to Franz Joseph. We're going to go to Wanaka. Then we're going to go to Queenstown, Mount Cook.
Yep.
And yeah, that's it. Christchurch back. Yeah,
cool.
Done the whole loop. I was like, wait. Christchurch, did I put Christchurch yet? No, I didn't. Cool.
Do you want to hold it on your side?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
No, you know what? We put it in the middle today. We do something different every time. All right, I'm going to try not to have too much reflection for you guys. I think like that looks pretty good. Okay, so first up, we are going to get you to get started in Christchurch. Just because it's the largest city on the South Island, it's the only city with a decent international airport. There is an international airport in Queenstown, but the amount of flights are limited. And it's usually just from Australia and everything. So if you're flying from India, you're more likely to get your way to Christchurch. Also, there is more options for car rentals and everything. So get started in Christchurch. It's a bit easier. If you do want to take some extra time in Christchurch, you definitely can. So again, you have we do this itinerary for 14 days, right? And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spot that you're going to go to. So basically you could almost spend 2 days everywhere. So if you want to spend a day in Christchurch, you can get over the jet lag and all that. There is a fantastic garden, the Christchurch Botanic Garden, just nearby to a museum. There is also the Antarctic Center, which is fantastic. You can check out a lot of history about the exploration of the Antarctic, and you can get really cold down there. There is like a room where you can just get really cold. Anyway, but the garden is more romantic. You're here for a honeymoon, right?
Yeah.
If you are into wildlife and you're interested, head to the Banks Peninsula right here, and you have Akarora right here. So it's a nice day road trip. You go over there, you can swim with tiny dolphins, Hector dolphins, and then come back there. It's really, really awesome. There is ton of affordable accommodation in Christchurch as well. And if you want to know more about Christchurch affordable accommodation, on NZ Pocket Guide, we have a list of the best budget accommodation in Christchurch with the link and description of all of them and all that. So super easy. So it's on nzpocketguide.com. Now, once you get over your jet lag and you're ready to head for your road trip, hop on a car or, hop in a bus, because at that point you will be able to travel by bus through all those places since you weren't sure which way you wanted to travel by. And you can make your way to Kaikoura.
Yeah, so Kaikoura is most famous for its marine wildlife, particularly sperm whales can be seen there all year round. So you can see those through whale watching cruises. You can see them through whale watching flights, which actually they're very similar price. So yeah, it's really worth comparing those two options. And I'm just having a quick look at what you wanted to do on your particular itinerary was swim with dolphins. Are they still doing swim with dolphins in Kaikoura? Because there was a little bit of a thing.
Yeah, they do it in Kaikoura, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So Kaikoura is a really good place to swim with dolphins. There's a company there called Dolphin Encounter where they can take you out into the Kaikoura, well, the water's just off Kaikoura, and you get to you get to swim with a type of dolphin called dusky dolphins, which are really known for being acrobatic and playful. So that's a really good place to go and experience that. But like Robin says, if you don't get to experience in Kaikoura, there's also the option to experience it in Akaroa, just outside of Christchurch.
All right, so next up, we're going to go all the way to Nelson, but we're going to go a little bit up. We're going to stop a little bit in Blenheim, and then we're going to go to Nelson. All right, so you're going to do a little bit of a road trip right here, or if you want to go by bus, you can actually add yourself one stop here as an extra night, and then you can come to Nelson. So the reason why I think you should go to Blenheim is because in the middle of the Marlborough region, and the Marlborough region is one of the best wine region of New Zealand. So if you want that romantic, picturesque lunch or dinner in the vineyards with, wine tasting of some of the best wine of the country, it's definitely one of the most romantic and most honeymoon thing to do. And Blenheim is one of the best place in New Zealand to do that. Fantastic wines and fantastic views over there. So I definitely think that if you're driving around, you should absolutely stop there. Obviously, if you're driving around, only you are drinking or your lady is drinking, but not the person that's driving, because you can't drink and drive, obviously.
But you can still do wine tastings and actually not consume the wine. They have the little spit
drink
barrels.
And spit them, if you want to. But come on, that's a waste of wine. Drink it. All right, so Blenheim, fantastic, and that's great. That's kind of like your romantic kind of lunch and dinner. But we want you to spend some time in Nelson. Same thing in Nelson, there is a ton of budget accommodation, and we do have all the list of the best budget accommodation in Nelson on nzpocketguide.com. And it's your gateway to the Abel Tasman National Park. So if you've seen those pictures of golden sand beaches with, turquoise waters, with beautiful rainforest on the side, it's absolutely amazing. You can go kayaking, you can go hiking there. There is a fantastic canyoning if you want something adventurous.
You can do scuba diving. There is
scuba diving. There is skydiving. There's really a ton of things to do here. So I definitely think that's one of the spots where you want to spend a couple of days. Within the city of Nelson, there's a few extra things to do as well. And you can actually... we'll let you check out the guide of Nelson that we have on the website. But one of the fun things to do is to go to the Jan Hansen jewelry shop. And this is the guys that made the One Ring for the Lord of the Rings movie. So they have a lot of replicas over there. And, it's just kind of cool to see where the props were made. And it's just free. It's literally just a jewelry store. So you can go in there and check that out. But if it's your honeymoon, you may have to splurge some money on some jewelry. So, it's up to you to see if you want to go there or not. All right, so moving on, you're going to have a nice little road trip through the Nelson Lake area to go to Punakaiki.
Yeah.
Take us on a road trip, Laura.
Yeah, so on your way to Punakaiki, you get to pass through the Nelson Lakes National Park, which has a very famous scenic photo stop at the Lake Rotoiti Jetty. So you can stop there, get some photos, enjoy a picnic by the lake, and then continue on your way to Punakaiki. Now, in terms of your adventure activities, there's not a crazy amount of adventure activities to do around Punakaiki, but we find it's a really good place to just stop and relax for a few days, because you've got a lot of really active days to come on this itinerary. So it is good to just, and it's also pretty early on into your trip. So it's a good place to relax and rest. There's a few really cool things to check out there, though. There's the famous Punakaiki Pancake Rocks, which is a very short walk to see some interesting rock features, which are looking like stacked pancakes. There's also the Punakaiki Cavern, which is a small cave you can go and explore on your own. That's really cool to check out as well. And we do have videos on this channel of us basically checking out everything that we're mentioning on this itinerary.
So far, we've done everything. Everything that we mentioned.
So if you are unsure of any activities, or you want to know more about what the activities are like, then it's a good idea to go onto our channel, type in the name of the activity, and we will likely have an activity of us actually doing these activities. Okay.
All right, moving on to the next section of your trip. I'm going to call you Kati because I can't pronounce your name. I hope that we're friend enough for me to shorten your name to Carty. But the next section of your road trip first is going to be fantastic. Road tripping through the West Coast is always mind-blowing. The sceneries are amazing. You just by the mountain, by the seas, in middle of absolutely amazing rainforest. Like it looks like Jurassic Park everywhere you drive. It's amazing. Yeah. And we're going to send you to Franz Josef. So you say that you wanted to do some heli hiking. Well, Franz Josef is one of the great places to get started. And hear me out, I explain you why. You can do it in Franz Josef Glacier. You can do it in Fox Glacier, which is just right after. And you can do it in Mount Cook. So if you try to do it in Franz Josef Glacier, since it's such a weather-dependent activity, and you can't make it in Franz Josef, you always have Fox Glacier on the next day, during your road trip, and you always have Mount Cook afterwards. So that's a great place to kind of consider doing that right here. So heli hiking on a glacier, I'm pretty sure if it's on your list, you already know what that is, but there is a video on the channel of us doing this exact activity. If you want something a bit more relaxing afterwards, you can go to the glacier hot pool. Super romantic. They are absolutely stunning hot pools, and you can even get private hot pools if you want to just be you and your newly lady. Moving on, you can drive all the way to Wanaka, and you can stop in Fox Glacier if you didn't get to do the heli hike in Franz Josef. But you can head to Wanaka, and in Wanaka, it's just I'm gonna keep going. In Wanaka, well, it's a nice sunset walk by the lake. It's literally just to break up your drive from going all the way to Queenstown. So that's pretty much it. Just one night, walk by the lake, just kind of relax, take in the sceneries. You're gonna have a really fantastic drive through the Haas Pass. It's really beautiful. So take the whole day to drive and just arrive at sunset, walk by the lake, and you'll be like, oh, I'm the king of the world. Yeah. And then you're going to move on to Queenstown.
Okay, so you have a lot of adventure activities on your wish list, on your itinerary. So most of these you can actually do in Queenstown. So it would be good to spend 2 or even 3, 4 days in Queenstown. So
you have just so many activities to do there.
So one thing you wanted to do was go visit Milford Sound. You could do this on a bus tour, which is a good way to have a break from driving, because yes, traveling around New Zealand is a lot of driving, and if you want a break from that, then a good option is to take a bus tour to Milford Sound, which is a full day tour.
Oh, okay.
Wow, what is wrong with that, Rob?
No, that's
beautiful.
This will haunt me at night.
Yeah, so that one option is to go by bus and back as part of a bus tour. Another option is to take a scenic flight there and perhaps take a bus tour back, or take a scenic flight there and back. And they're both really good ways to get to Milford Sound. And then once you arrive, there's a ton of different cruises you can take to enjoy the beautiful Milford Sound, which I'm sure you've heard about. You know what it is, so I don't need to go too much into detail what that is.
If it's on your list, you know what it is.
Alternatively, since you wanted to do scuba diving, if you wanted to drive down to Milford Sound and maybe spend overnight in there, then there is the option to do scuba diving over there. But that's very weather dependent, and Milford Sound is known for being a very rainy part of the country. But the scuba diving there is quite unique. You get to see something called black coral, which traditionally you could only see very deep, like in a very deep dive in the ocean. But in Milford Sound, because of the darkness of the water, it allows you to see it a little bit further up. So that's quite a unique sort of activity to do there. In Queenstown also, you can do, what else do you have on your list? You have Shotover Jet. So Shotover Jet is based in Queenstown. You have Jetovator, which I think is the sort of thing where you on
the feet.
Yeah.
So it's in Queenstown as well. So that's a kind of a hoverboard with jet of water underneath.
Yeah, so like water jet hoverboarding thing, that's in Queenstown as well. You can do parasailing in Queenstown, and I think that is pretty much it. Ziplining as well. That's also eco tour. What were they called? The ziplining eco tour.
Oh, you can actually do ziplining in Abel Tasman. I will do it more in Abel Tasman.
Yeah?
If I were you, I'll do in Abel Tasman.
Okay.
Because when you do canyoning, there is like one ziplining there, so I'll do that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But otherwise, there is EcoZip in Queenstown.
EcoZip, that's the one.
So you get up the gondola and you do that. That'll be your most accessible one. But I think if you're into ziplining, you should try canyoning instead.
Yeah. Okay, so that is
moving on.
That is a whole bunch of stuff to do in Queenstown, and next you've got quite a long road.
I'm not done by Queenstown. I want to say something.
Oh yeah.
I want to say something about Queenstown. So Queenstown is reputably quite expensive to travel into. So you will have to actually plan ahead and make sure to book your accommodation ahead of your trip if you actually want to be able to save some money on accommodation. We do have the list of the best budget accommodation in Queenstown, but you may also want to be looking into backpacker hostels. And we do have a list on NZ Pocket Guide of the best hostels in Queenstown, and therefore you'll be able to save quite a lot of money because it's very easy to spend quite a few thousand on accommodation in Queenstown. I just wanted to point that out because Carty said he was on the budget. So we always have to read your name. It's really hard for me to pronounce. I hope we did okay. Okay, Mount Cook, fantastic place to go. The cheapest scenic flight you're gonna find, Mount Cook 360, run by a company called InFlight. It's really fantastic. You can also do heli hike with a Mount Cook Glacier guide. If you didn't get to do it anywhere else, you can also take a ski plane and literally just fly, just check out the whole Southern Alps and literally land on top of the glacier where there's some snow and get out of the plane. And then after you take off from there, it's a fantastic experience. It's not too expensive. It's definitely worth doing. So Mount Cook is fantastic. And the drive to Mount Cook and from Mount Cook to Christchurch are phenomenal. So make sure you take yourself one entire day to go from one place to the other because you're going to love it. Running it up, you go back to Christchurch if you have one extra day. They definitely take the time to check out all the cafes and the places to kind of stuff yourself. Also, the good thing with Christchurch is that it's way less expensive than Queenstown to buy all your souvenirs. So if you want to buy some souvenirs for all friends and family, you can do all your shopping right here in Christchurch before flying back home.
And then before you leave, Christchurch the area of Christchurch, the area surrounding Christchurch is the place where you can do your hot air ballooning with Canterbury ballooning.
In the Canterbury Plains, All right, so that is the honeymoon itinerary for 2 weeks in the Southern with budget accommodation and $10,000 to spend. All those places are accessible by bus or by car. I think that traveling by car will make it a little bit more flexible for you, but it's definitely up to you. And we do have a ton of itineraries on nzpocketguide.com, so you can click on nzpocket.com. There's a link in the description below, and you click on trip IDs, and there's a ton of itineraries with all the information that we have and much more with link to accommodation and all that is done by the two of us, and it's all free of charge. You may want to check that out. In the meantime, if you did find this video useful, like and subscribe. It's a great way to say thank you for all our hard work and to get to see more awesome videos about traveling in New Zealand. All right, let's go back to the live chat.